And we're back over here. Short news. Only had a couple things. All right. After news chat time. So let me start because I don't think I'm going to take too long.
Yeah.
I got Helldivers yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yesterday. I just played the tutorial because I'm going to play with somebody tomorrow or something. I love it. I love the opening. The opening of the game, if you've ever seen Starship Troopers, this game is just Starship Troopers. Just call it Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
So
it looked very Starship Troopers-y to me. Like
the entire intro is just straight out of the Starship Troopers like handbook. The movie, I mean, like the Starship Troopers movie. We won't talk about the book, but the Starship Troopers movie, the way the movie was made, this game looks like the movie. So you're on Super Earth and you have to protect Super Earth, which is it's the perfect generic name for this type of game. Super Earth is perfect. It can't just be Earth, it's Super Earth. Okay, it's Super Earth. And you're Helldiver, and even in the tutorial, the whole tutorial just is like, I loved it. I love the way they did the tutorial. I think the gameplay is kind of interesting. It's interesting because there are these things you can call down from your spaceship in the sky to help you. Okay. And in order to activate it, you do like if you're on controller, you do like a D-pad combination, and then it activates it, and your character actually does like the combination. I don't know how I feel about it on PC because you have to hit like I'd have to mess with the key bindings, but you're like when you put in the combination right now, I'm using WASD to do the combination, but that's also how you move, so it's a little bit funky, like trying to handle both. But it's very interesting seeing like the call downs and everything. And I've seen somebody play it. When they're playing it, you can see other players going down onto the planet you're going to. You can visually see people being called into the planet, and you can see battles. It's super interesting. Super interesting to see. The game is buggy. I even still, the person I was watching, a friend of mine, he got stuck in a pool of water, and he couldn't move, but he couldn't die, so he was just stuck. So he had to like exit out of the mission. So there's still some bugs, which is a little unfortunate to see. But I'm excited to play it. It's got the right aesthetic for what you get, and it gets you kind of pumped up and excited. So it's very cool, very good. Like Starship Troopers, I love the movie, so it works super well for me. So I'm excited to jump into that. And then the only other thing I really did of note was just play some more Halo. And I actually streamed it yesterday. I was a little bit surprised at the number of people who I was talking to. They're like, oh, that's interesting, you're playing Halo. I remember playing Halo. I love that game. It was just interesting the number of people. I'll be honest, I didn't think anybody would be interested in like, okay, they're playing like Halo 2, like whatever, old game. I was surprised at the number of people that were like, oh, Halo 2, that sounds awesome. Like, I love that game, blah, blah, blah. Really cool. So, Halo 2, all those old Halo games. It's always interesting seeing people who are like, oh, that was like my first game I played, or that was the game I played in my childhood that I loved so much.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So, no comment there. I'm playing on heroic. It's a little bit, I know it's only heroic, but I'm like trying to figure out the challenge because I was playing on normal before. And heroic obviously is a step up, so I can't imagine legendary on Halo 2. Halo 2 I remember was probably the hardest one I played for heroic and legendary. So
Yeah, legendary. I mean, even in any of the games, I remember not being very fun. I remember trying it. I mean, I think it's doable in Halo 3, but
in Halo 1 legendary isn't too bad. It's hard. In Halo 2 legendary is bad because there are snipers that will one-shot you.
Yeah.
And if you don't catch them first, you're dead. You're just dead because they're really accurate. So you're just dead. So you kind of have to know where all the snipers are. Once you figure that out, you're fine. But the snipers will one-shot you. It's just not, it's not very fun. You're like, okay, well, if I memorize where every sniper is and where they're coming from, I'm all good. So that part in particular always felt unfair to me. The rest of the game was fine. But I remember playing Halo 2 with a friend, and it's legendary. So if one of you dies, you restart. You can't. At no point can one of you die and you continue.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, there's no
'Cause
reviving.
usually on co-op it's easier because you can continue even if one of you dies. But I guess
And
that's
you
not the
respawn.
case.
In legendary, you can't do that. One goes down, both go down. Is kind of the rule. So it's hard. I remember legendary on Halo 2 is hard. So anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. I've got Helldivers. I'm excited. It looks really fun. Can't wait to jump into battle for the good of Super Earth. And I mean, Halo's fun. I really like playing Halo. I don't think there was really anything else on my side that I would say is relatively new. But yeah, Helldivers is going to be a fun one. I'll have a good time with that. So yeah, that was it. That was mine, short and sweet. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. I finished work and I'm like kind of gassed after work, so I'm like I don't want to do anything. Cool. All right. Final Fantasy time.
Yeah. Final Fantasy.
He's itching for it. So, last time, I'll reenact it for you. For dear old, rest his soul, Toriyama. Last time on the podcast, Spoon explained to us the challenges of having to slow walk in a cinematic style through environments that, frankly, he would have preferred to go through faster. It seemed like combat was improved. You didn't really get through much of the story to really say much of anything, but there was a flashback that you did. That was about it. And
Very beginning of the game.
combat looked good, and you had just gotten to the open world. And then there were like, we thought it was hidden loading screens, but there were some like potential hidden loading screens that it just seems like time wasters was the way I would put it. Time wasters. So now that you're past Time Wasterville, the Burning Village Time Wasterville, and you're in the open world, you've probably played, you said you're maybe not even halfway through the game. Let's say 20 hours. I'm going to guess 20. Okay, 30? Like, what? 40? You said you're not even halfway and it's 40?
35.
35? Jesus. Okay, 35 hours into the game. Okay, you're 35 hours into the game. You've obviously made a lot of progress, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing like 4 hours a day, basically. Some days more, depending. Like weekend I would play more. Or
Yeah, obviously.
I had Wednesday off, so I played more Wednesday as well.
Yeah. Okay, Rebirth.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay. So the open world is good. I think we talked about it a little last time, but there's content to do in the open world, but there's not too much content. It feels reasonable to be able to complete all of the open world content.
Oh, good.
Without wanting to like tear your hair out or just burning out completely.
So it's not a Ubisoft game. Good.
And there are, at least early on, there's like, you'll do like an open world chapter, and then you'll do like a linear dungeon like chapter that's like a story, like maybe with some story. Though the story is very light early on in the game. There is like nothing going on in the story. It's just like, yep, we're looking for Sephiroth and we're chasing Sephiroth, so we're trying to find Sephiroth, and you just go from place to place chasing Sephiroth. I haven't played the original game, but from what I heard, there's a recreation of this like parade sequence that's in Junon, which is the second region, that they did very well. That story segment was pretty fun, and there's it was just like a fun segment where you dress and pose as a trooper, and you have to do this like parade thing so you can get close to the president, basically.
Sure.
The president of Shinra, the evil corporation of the game.
Sure.
Let me tell you though, you can tell Nomura worked on this game.
Okay.
There's a lot of fucking mini games. There is a lot of mini games.
Okay. Yep, keep going. I'm not gonna say anything. Keep going. Games don't need that many mini games. That's all I'm gonna say.
And early on, I was actually really enjoying the pacing of like, you know, open world. We got some mini games. There's like a card game that's pretty fun actually, so that was done pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some open world. We got some mini games. We do like, you know, yeah, open world mini games, and then like, you know, linear story section with like a pretty like, you know, a couple hours like dungeon or something with like a boss at the end type of thing. Um, and then we get to chapter 5 after Junon, and chapter 5 is pretty much fine. It's like there's a Queen's Blood's the card game. There's like you're on a cruise ship. There's like a Queen's Blood tournament. You do that, and you actually don't have to play the Queen's Blood tournament. You can just like forfeit if you want, and just go past it if you don't want to play it.
Which is nice, by the way. I appreciate
yeah.
that. It's like I don't want to do that. I don't want to play the card game. Let's just keep going.
Yeah. And then you get to Costa del Sol, which is starts chapter 6. And Costa del Sol is a beach town.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
We gotta have a beach episode.
Yep.
So
that's fine. That's fine.
And Costa del Sol is chock full of mini games, and you have to do mini games. So you have to go around with a camera and find these like little pink cactuars and like take pictures of them. There's like a scuffed Rocket League mini game where you play as Red 13, who's the dog party member, and you do that. There's more Queen's Blood. There's the piano playing mini game, which was introduced just before that.
Is this required? Do I have to do all these things? Can I just not do them? Or is it required mini games?
You don't have to. You do not have to do all of them. You have to do a couple of them because you need these like tickets to be able to buy a swimsuit for each character. So you have to buy a swimsuit for Cloud.
Why do you need
Barret.
Why
you can't go to the beach without a swimsuit. Man.
Why do you need tickets for that though? Why can't I just pay money? Why do you need tickets for the swimsuit?
It's not how it works. Oh, and there's like a target shooting mini.
Yeah, that's usually fine. That's usually fine. Yeah. It's fine. That one I'm okay with. Why do you need tickets for the bathing suit? What? Don't you play these like okay? Don't you like play games and just like sit there and think, why the fuck do I need tickets to buy a swimsuit? Don't you just like sit there though and like think about it for a minute and go, why do I have to buy tickets for a swimsuit? The game is great. I'm having a great time. Why am I buying tickets for a swimsuit? Why do I need to do that? Why can't I just pay gold or gald? Why can't I just do that? Like, do you ever think about it? Like, don't you ever have that moment where you're like, why do I need to do that?
It's just part of the game.
This is part of the game? It doesn't that sound too ridiculous for that part of the game though? Don't you ever like have that moment? Like,
not in this.
No?
I mean, sometimes I, you know.
That's wild. I'd be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever experienced. Why do I have to buy tickets for this? Why are you making me do this? It's like stat padding in the worst way. That's how I don't know. Keep going, but I think it's incredibly dumb. I think it's one of the dumbest things you can do. It's like stat padding. Why do you stat pad me? I don't want to play the mini games. Just let me buy the suit with cash. Just take the cash. It's better than tickets. You can do something with it. Like keep going.
So then after you do all that, you get some cutscenes at the beach, and then there's like
of course,
like a couple of fights that happen at the beach. You know, bad guy shows up.
Yeah, sure.
Bad guy things, so you gotta fight them. You gotta fight a boss, so whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Then you get a couple of side quests in Costa del Sol that require you to replay a harder version of some of the mini games. Obviously they're side quests, so you don't have to do.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. It's a side quest. I got it.
Yeah. Though some of the mini games do like some of the mini games like the rewards don't matter, but there's usually like rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 for like getting high scores on the, you know, certain mini games, and some of the rank 3 rewards are like a weapon for one of your party members. So
yeah, that's pretty nice. No, that is nice.
You kind of want to do it.
You kind of want to do it, or a weapon that will become obsolete in probably 2 hours. Is what I imagine happens. Is you're constantly
no,
getting better weapons, right? Like you're
no,
always getting
I
better
think the way
weapons.
they've done weapons in this game is like pretty good actually. So there's like a weapon level, but your weapon level is like universal for all your weapons. So you just have like a global weapon level for each character.
Oh, okay. So
So all the
okay,
level and all the weapons like have different stats and like different skills that you can equip on them that
sure.
like change. So there's like a physical weapon, there's like a magic based weapon, and like there's gonna be a best one for each character, and each weapon also has a skill or an ability for you to use in combat
Sure.
that you can once you use that ability enough, at first you can only use it with the weapon equipped, but when
Sure.
you use it enough, you master it, and then you can use it with any weapon. So,
I see. So that's why you. Okay. Yep.
so you like pick up the new weapon, you equip the new weapon, you see like what skills it has that you want to equip, and then you'll use it for a while to at least master the new ability,
And then you'll
and
move.
then maybe you'll swap back to one that you thought like had better stats or you thought was better, or maybe you'll keep the new weapon.
Okay.
But I think like they've done equipment like pretty well in this game, and then there's a little skill tree system as well that like you don't have enough points to get everything at least early on, so you kind of have to make some choices on like what you want to get. So
So
I think the RPG mechanics are pretty good in this game so far. I think they've done a good job with it.
there's no bronze, silver, gold sword. It's more like
No.
it's completely different. That okay. So you would get a new weapon because you probably want a new skill and see the
Yeah.
stats for the weapon.
Yeah, it could be better. It could be better than
It
what
could
you
be.
have, and you want to just use it.
But if it's not, you just want to be able to see it. So that's why you do the mini game, so you can see it. Might have a really good skill. Okay, that makes sense then.
The one thing I will say that they have not done well in this game in terms of like the RPG, I guess RPG mechanics, but not necessarily, is like money. Money is obsolete in this game. Like you don't need money for anything. You get so many items from like chests, and you can craft items from like the materials that you find. And items are shit anyways, by the way.
Yeah.
Like consumable items are freaking terrible in this game, and this was a problem in Remake as well, but not as big of a problem in Remake.
So like a potion.
Yeah. So a potion.
Sure.
I don't remember if we talked about this last time, but a regular potion heals 350 health.
But don't you have like thousands? I imagine you have like 1,000.
You start at level 10, and Cloud, the main character, he's like kind of all-rounder. He has 1,500 health at level 10, which is where you start.
What's
So
the highest level potion you can get? Just for context right now.
Up to this point, you can get a mega potion, which heals 1,500.
Okay, that's good. Like 1,500 is pretty good
But
right
we
now,
have
right?
characters. I mean, most of the characters have between 3,000 and 4,000 right now.
So the healing doesn't scale well with you.
Yeah, and
Oh,
high
Jesus.
potions heal 700.
Yep. So healing's not scaling well. You should have like a full heal option, a 50, like a 75, 50, whatever percentages. Should be percentages.
And also, and again, you played Remake a little bit. I don't remember how much you remember it, but in combat, you need ATB to do anything other than basic attack or block.
Sure. Yeah.
That includes throwing an item. So when you get, basically, the combat is really fun and good until it's not, and then it's terrible and frustrating. Because when you get on the back foot in this game, you basically can't do anything but heal. Because in order to generate ATB, you have to hit the enemy or block. Like if you block attacks and get perfect guards, you actually generate ATB that way, which I think that was improved. I don't think you did, or at least you got a lot less in Remake for that. So I think that's actually improved in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really hard to recover when you get on the back foot in this game, because you require ATB in order to heal. Either use Cure or use an item. But again, the items are pretty bad. Especially the early ones. Mega potions are okay, and I've finally gotten to the point now where I have like a lot of mega potions, so they're kind of worth using. But like potions and high potions, at the point that you get them in the
they're
game,
useless.
they're just
useless now.
especially in combat.
They're not helpful anymore. Yep.
And yeah, you're basically healing. You're using your ATB to heal when you get on the back foot, and then like you're not damaging the boss because basic attacks do basically no damage compared to, you know, the abilities that you use from like ATB and
Yep.
like spells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and especially if somebody goes down, because it costs obviously an ATB to use a Phoenix down, and Phoenix downs, like, which is the revival item, obviously.
Yep.
It recovers you for like 300 HP or something like that, so they're still low, and they just get hit again.
And then you go down again.
Like,
I assume there's a
yeah.
better Phoenix down that's like a full revive.
Not yet.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean,
so recovering from being on the back foot in this game is incredibly
Sounds bad.
frustrating, and
Yeah.
it's really bad.
yeah, sounds.
And it was a problem. It's the same as remake. They really haven't improved it much, in my opinion, since remake on that particular front.
Yep.
Except maybe making that like guarding gives you more ATB, and I don't remember if that was the case in remake.
Yep.
So that's kind of my one big complaint with the combat is just like recovering from being at low health. If like your whole party is at low, and there's almost no AoE heals. Like Aerith has an AoE heal, but that costs 2 ATB, which is all your full ATB meter. It's 2 segments, so
okay, so a full heal or full use thing.
Full meter,
yeah full meter to
You
get a
get- there
heal.
are certain-
How much healing you get?
maybe 1,000 AoE.
At this point, 1,000. So
Yeah.
it's like a third of your hit points, not even.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you may not have Aerith in your party, and you are not allowed to swap party members in and out while you're in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't get that either. Like, because sometimes you encounter like you just have a party that you're running around with, and you encounter an enemy that like your party is just terrible against. Like
You'd want to swap.
You have like Cloud, Red, and Tifa, who are all melee characters, and you're fighting a bunch of fucking birds. Like, no,
Yeah.
I want Aerith and Barret or Yuffie in my party who have fucking ranged attacks.
That can do something.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So you'd want to be able
I
to
don't
just quick
understand
swap.
why the game doesn't let you swap party members, like at least on a cooldown or something like that. Like,
Maybe they're worried about swapping in a boss fight, but it would be nice if you could
Well,
swap in a boss fight.
a lot of I mean, honestly, a lot of the story segments in the boss fights, they like split your party up, and then you have like or they make you have like a set party, like 3 specific characters. So,
Okay, so they don't.
like-
Probably because they're worried about. Well, I don't know. It'd be nice if you could swap. I don't know. It seems weird that you can't just like swap in a character, especially when your party is so large and you can only bring in 3. You have 6 people and you can only bring in 3.
Yeah, we have 6, and there's a 7th party member that I'm gonna get shortly.
And it's not like this game is like you. Okay. It's like weird because in some games like Dragon Age, swapping in and out party members is okay for me if you can't do it. But like in this game, maybe swapping in and out party members, I don't know. There are like some games where I get not being able to, because in Dragon Age you're setting off with a certain party, but you get 4 people. Like it's you and 3 other people. The party's bigger.
Now
It's just different.
Unless they're splitting your party, your entire party is like always there.
It's
and
always
there are
there.
There's occasionally like these like backline abilities you can use. I think you can only use them when you get like really low or something
Yep.
like that. It's like you can't use them all the time. But occasionally your characters that aren't fighting with you can do something in combat.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know. It seems weird.
Again, except the points where they like split the party and make you fight as a particular set of 3 characters. The whole party is with you the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, it's weird because in Dragon Age I don't feel like the whole party's with you technically. It doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like the whole party's with you. So it's like different. I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, in what games could I not swap and it made sense? And I think in that instance in Dragon Age it made sense, but in this game it probably would make sense if you could swap. Especially in cases where like, oh, my enemy is 4 birds and I have a bunch of melees. It'd be nice if I could swap. I don't feel like you get that situation in Dragon Age a whole lot.
So I wish you could hot swap. Getting off the back foot is really difficult and really annoying in this game.
Yeah.
And most of the time, yeah, it's just hard to get off the back foot. And most of the time, especially if the boss is low enough, it's better to just like go aggressive and just try and kill them instead of trying to heal, because you just spend so much time trying to fucking heal. Like,
And your heals aren't optimal, frankly. Your heals don't seem optimal.
And yeah, like a cure, like a level 1 cure heals like 800, maybe 1,000 single target. Like,
And it's probably one.
it's
like-
1 ATB for a cure.
Okay.
Kira, if you upgrade it, is pretty good, but it just costs a lot of mana. Like
Yeah.
you know, Aerith has the most mana out of any character. She has like 60, but
Uh-huh.
Kira costs like 14. So
Oh, you can pop only realistically, you can really only pop like not even 4 of them.
Yeah.
Because 60, yeah, you can't even do 4.
and so the characters that aren't good with magic, like Barret, he has like 30 mana or something like that. Cloud maybe has like 45 or 50.
Yeah, so they're not doing it. Okay. Interesting.
And then obviously if you're low on mana, it costs an ATB to throw an Ether, which heals 20 mana. Like,
Yeah, your resource management is kind of rough.
it's rough.
The resource management's very rough. It's very unforgiving, it
Well, just
sounds
because
like.
it costs ATB to do anything in combat other than basic attack or like block and dodge.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of like you have like a source, like let's just call it battle points. I don't know what ATB stands for, but battle points.
It's
Probably
originally
action.
It's active time battle in the original like game, and it was like an ATB instead of being like full turn based. It was like an ATB.
Yeah, 'cause it was
that,
turn-based.
Filled up, so
Yeah.
they just kept the name as. But
So
it's
you're-
like, it's
so
like
you-
active time battle.
Yeah, so you have like a few battle points. Having throwing an item take up a battle point is really rough.
Yeah.
Because you want to, yeah, and especially when your items aren't
they're
aren't
so bad.
particularly
they're so
great.
Bad.
You're like,
Again,
okay, well, what the heck?
Mega potions are good, but again, I've like just gotten to the point where I have a lot of those. Before, when you're using potions and high potions and high potions are just terrible for the point that you're actually using them. Like,
Ooh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like your resource management's bad. Your items aren't great. They're doing something, but not what you want. I would very much like items to be percentage based, by the way, for healing. I understand the idea of doing like, it heals you 500 hit points. But it would be nice if it was just like, it heals 25% of your health. Or 50% or 100. I would prefer that.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done that. I just think they should have made the items better if they were gonna go with the static values. Like, a potion should have been like 500 or 600, and a high potion should have been like 1,000 to like 1,200, 1,300.
Yep.
And then a mega potion should have been like 2,000 at
Sure.
least.
Yeah, of course.
But like 350, like again, even in the early game, your
not that
squishiest
great.
character has like 1,000 HP, and a potion heals 350.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not
that's
even-
just terrible.
It's not doing a ton. Yeah, I can see that. Resource management does not sound particularly.
And I mean, there are
exciting.
some. To be fair, they've added. There's like a materia that you can equip that makes items better. That makes it like 30% better, and if you upgrade it all the way, it makes them 50% better. But
which helps, but still,
which
like,
helps. And then there's another materia you can equip that makes it so that once in a while in combat, items don't cost ATB to use.
but that's once in
It's
a
like-
while, so it's a dice
It's
roll,
like
coin flip.
it's not a dice roll. It's a like every like 3 ATB
Oh,
that
okay.
you spend, then like an item won't cost an ATB after that, basically.
Okay, so it actually is a set rule. Okay.
Yeah. So like there are some improvements like that, but I just think items are like they're just shit. They're just
They're
shit
not
in
very
this
good.
game. They're just
Yeah, they don't
so
sound
bad.
they don't sound great. They don't sound like the worst, but they don't sound good.
Yeah, and
And
especially,
especially since
like
yeah.
the Phoenix Downs, like the revival items, I don't understand why they revive you with so little HP. Because there's actually a weaker version that you can craft. It's called like a Phoenix Draft or something like that, and then there's Phoenix Downs, and they both like revive you with.
The
They may
same,
not be
similar.
the same, but it's very like Phoenix Draft recovers you with like 300, and Phoenix Down recovers you with like 400 or 500. It's like
Yeah, it's not that much different. Like you just craft the worst
Yeah.
version. Like it's not a big deal. It should be like Phoenix Down gives you 50% of your hit points.
a third, at least a third.
Yeah,
Maybe like
something.
1,000, maybe like 1,000 back. Like
Yeah, I just wish healing, in certain cases, I'd love it to be percentage based. To just be like, it heals you 25%.
And also, this is not a character action game where there's a point, you know, the game is designed where you could theoretically not take any damage. If you're good enough, you could like literally dodge everything and not take any damage. No.
Sure.
This is an action RPG. You are meant to take damage sometimes, like, and just block things and take reduced damage.
Sure.
The dodge roll is better than it was in Remake, but it's still not great.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is designed for you to like take damage sometimes. I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
think you could play the game without like taking damage. So
Sure. It's hard to not take damage in some of those types of games. Like it's just like you expect it. You expect to take damage. It's just how it is. That's what the block is there for. The block is like, I don't want to take 100. I'm gonna take 50. You know, like that's what it's there for. So like,
and
yeah.
as I think I mentioned last time, I'm not gonna tell you the AI is the worst because they're like decent at blocking and avoiding damage, but they are very passive. The AI does not build ATB like hardly at all. So if you want your like AI party members to like help heal you and like throw items and stuff, you have to literally swap to them and play as them for a few seconds to build up the ATB. Like,
God, wouldn't it be nice if I echo this once again to have a decent tactics menu? That'd be nice. God, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be cool? Let's have mini games instead. Let's make you buy swimming suits with tickets. Let's do that. We have to get the mini games in. We need to spend our dev time on the mini game. The card game sounds fine, to be fair. Card games sound fine. Taking pictures of shit for tickets sounds really boring. Like it,
and
so boring.
Scuffed Rocket League.
Scuffed Rocket League, I'd have to see it. I'd have to like look up a video of it. Like Rocket League is fun, but it's just like, do I really want to play a scuffed version of that in my Final Fantasy game?
You're playing as a dog, and the controls are not very precise.
Yeah, of course they're not.
It's an RPG. It's not Rocket League.
Of course the controls suck. I imagine they stink. Like it's probably like how the Kingdom Hearts had the Mario Kart game in it. It's like, why would you do this? The controls are not going to work for this.
All right, so since we went back to minigames, we talked about combat for a while, and I know, again, I'm doing a lot of complaining, but it's mostly nitpicky.
Yeah.
The combat is fun the vast majority of the time. Just getting on the back foot is not fun.
Yeah, of course
and
it is.
once in a while, there's just some really fucking annoying enemies that are just like painful to deal with. But
yep.
You know, so, but overall, I do actually really like the combat. It's fun the vast majority of the time, but I do think there are still some like kinks to be ironed out with the system. Healing is like kind of the biggest one for me, where I'm like, yeah, healing is just bad in this game, and they need to improve it. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, back to what I was talking about before with the mini games. So we were in Costa del Sol, we got our swimsuits, and there's a couple of side quests that have you do some higher level of mini games.
Yep.
And you get a small open world section there. So we do that. We do the side quests. We do the small open world section. And then we go into another story segment where we have to like climb a mountain and we fight a couple bosses, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
And then, so yeah, that story section was like pretty fun. And then we get to the Gold Saucer, which is another mini game land. This is chapter 8. This is chapter 8 now. And this is the point in the game that I'm at right now. I'm like just past the Gold Saucer.
And you just do a bunch of mini games in this area. You just do a bunch of mini games.
Yeah, so there's like what should I call it? Like a Punch Out, or like, what the hell is that? Like not Sock 'em Boppers, that like robot like fighting game. It's like that.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
There's a mini game like that.
Okay.
There's
boxing. Sure.
There's a bike mini game, which is like a recreation of you're like riding a motorcycle, and there's like points to collect and enemies to kill, and like, okay,
so that sounds okay if the controls are good.
They're okay at best.
Never mind. Probably sounds really just, let's just get through it.
More card game. Okay. There's a like shitty Galaga, not Galaga, but like space rail shooter like Star Fox
God.
minigame.
You're still going with the mini games. I was like, oh, 3, that sounds good. You're still going.
There's a like this isn't really a minigame because it's combat, but there's like a battle. There's like a battle arena where there's like, you know, duos like have 2 characters and fight like set enemies. But that's just like
That's just
combat,
regular.
but,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
It's like a challenge thing. It's fine. God, there can't be more. There can't be more.
There's the Chocobo Racing, which is this is like Mario Kart, except you're riding a Chocobo. It's way better than Kingdom Hearts, let me tell you. That
Okay.
controls way better than that.
Anything is better than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Getting poked in the eye is better than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and then there's the box. That one's not in the Gold Saucer, but it's like part of the Gold Saucer section. There's the box breaking one, which returns from remake. That was in remake.
What's the box breaking one again?
There's a bunch of like, basically you get like a time limit, and there's a bunch of boxes that like spawn. That they're all worth a certain amount of points, and you have to like attack and smash the boxes to like score points.
God,
It's way better than it was in a remake. I thought it was complete dog shit in remake. It was like way better in this one, but it's still.
That's like
whatever.
you've already listed off like.
15 mini games. Yeah.
I'm not sure how long it takes for dev time to work on these mini games. I imagine it's like a decent amount of time just to make sure, like, okay, how is this gonna work? We have to like get the environment set up for the mini game, get the controls set up. Get everything going. I imagine it's a little bit of time. How about I have a better idea? Let's do 2 mini games. Okay, 2. And then let's make a tactics menu. Let's just spend all that other dev time into a tactics menu where you could do a better job telling your AI, here's what I want you to do when I'm under 25% hit points. I want you to use your Curaga. I want you to use a Curaga on me.
Well,
just go ahead and
that would work, except the AI never has any ATBs, so they can't.
How about then this?
Like,
don't use items to use ATB, or always save 1 ATB. Wouldn't that be a great tactic? You know you could do that in Dragon Age. Did you know you could do that?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way the combat works, right? It's actions most of the time, but you can like pause. You can, when you open the menu to like make a selection with ATB, you pause the game basically. The AI never uses ATB. You have to tell them what to do, like in combat.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if I could do that? Wouldn't that be great if I had a menu where I could set that and set all that up to tell them what to do? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be helpful? Would you rather have that or Chocobo racing is what I'm getting at. Because this is like, it drives me nuts. Like, you don't need 20 mini games. You don't need Chocobo racing, okay? It's cute. Let's have maybe just Chocobo racing and the gun mini game, like the gun and the car game. Let's just have those 2.
The car game's good. We'll keep the car game. That's good.
Leave those 2. Perfect. 2 mini games. Sounds great. We can break up the pacing of the game. You can do like a Chocobo racing mini game in each city. It gets a little bit harder in each city. You can do a car game in each city. It gets a little bit harder in each city.
That's what there's like usually a couple. There's like a couple of car game opponents in each city.
Yeah, that's great. Like, wonderful. Because you can like break up the pacing of the game, and then you can do like a Chocobo race. It's all good. Wouldn't that be? And then you just spend all the other dev time on like ironing out and figuring out, okay, rather than having me as the player constantly dictating every single character's usage of this battle point resource, how about we just let them do it on their own and give them a tactics menu so that they can like manage themselves appropriately? Do we have to have Scuffed Rocket League?
No, we don't have.
We don't need that. Like that's what I'm getting at. It's like you could spend all this other dev time in other areas that, like, I know it's Nomura, so Nomura thinks it's super valuable to have 20 minigames. I know it is.
They let Nomura fucking cook in this section.
And I just like
between Costa del Sol and Gold Saucer, they're like, Nomura, you fucking got this. You cook, my man. Let's go. Like it would just be great if instead of focusing all those devs on that, we have them focus on building like this menu, and then we do like a little bit more to let the characters figure out their own resource management. I don't think it's like a tall order.
I think it's possible to have them manage their own resources effectively and have me be able to set those parameters over here. I've seen it. I saw it 15 years ago. We can do it. I know we can do it. We're just, for whatever reason, dead set on mini games, and it drives me fucking crazy.
Nomura loves his mini games. Like,
Kingdom Hearts is the same way. It's like,
if we've learned anything from Kingdom Hearts and now this game, Nomura loves his freaking.
I just like, we don't need it though. Like, we don't. Like, I like mini games when you break up the pacing a little bit. I like it a little bit.
Here's what I'll say. Early on in the game, like the first 2 regions before we got to like Costa del Sol and then Gold Saucer after that, I was really enjoying the pacing of the game with like, we got some open world, we got some story, we got some mini games, and like the pacing was really nice.
That's fine.
But between Costa del Sol and now Gold Saucer, we like the last like 10 to 15 hours of gameplay has been like, I like 60% mini games,
which is like
it's fucking crazy.
Which this is what and it frustrates me. I imagine the game is really fun, but I will tell you right now that will frustrate me. I'll just like be like, I don't want to do any of those side missions. There's zero interest in side missions. I'd get to the ticket swimsuit thing and I'd be like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'd get to all the mini games and be like, why do I have to do this to get the tickets to get the swimming suit? Can I please just use gold? Just give me back my 2 to 3 hours that I did the mini games with, and just let me buy it with gold, and then we can move forward, and I'll do the side quests if I want to.
As I mentioned, there's nothing to use money on because you find all
right. It's like, well,
buying items is completely useless because you can craft.
You can get them. You can craft them.
I have like 50,000 gil, and I like never spend it.
Right. So it's just like
you just do nothing with your money in this game.
So let me buy the swimsuit with my money. Let me buy other stuff with the money. Then like, if you're gonna like, if there's no incentive, if I'm de-incentivized to using my money, don't make me play mini games to get the swimsuit.
A little bit fair to them, I agree with you. There's too many mini games, but in order to like get the story objective to like get through the mini game, you have to play them a lot less than I have, because I'm going for a pretty completionist playthrough. I'm trying to get like top score on every mini game and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're doing more.
In order to get, the ticket or the thing in the gold saucer, to, the points and like whatever.
Yeah.
You only like have to play it once and just like get the minimum like score.
You can get the minimum requirements. But I get. I'm sure it doesn't take as long as I'm exaggerating it on. It's probably like maybe an hour or two.
But yeah.
But my point is, why?
The pacing of this part of the game has been a little rough. It's just been a bombardment of like mini games for the most part.
I like optional mini games. That's what I like, because it's an optional endeavor that I choose to do should I want to break up the pacing. I like optional side quest mini games. I like that. I don't have to do it. It's my choice. I just want to maybe just play through and continue the story. I don't want to see Cloud taking pictures of little statues. I don't need it. That's where I'm at with minigames. I think it, as an optional item, as maybe the one non-optional minigame is like, it's a tutorial. Okay. I like optional minigames. And I've always liked optional minigames. It's when somebody inserts the minigame into my storyline, it makes me mad. Because I'm like, you don't need to do that. You're wasting my time.
One mini game here and there, especially if it's short,
it's fine.
Too bad
Yeah,
in
it's
the story.
fine.
But if you like bombard me with an area that is literally all mini, it's like, all right, we're going to the gold saucer, and there's like six different mini games to play here, and you have to play them all at least once to progress the story.
And that's what frustrates me. It's like, I don't really want to do these mini games to progress the story. Like, I'll do one, but don't make me do more. But like, don't keep making me do them. Generally speaking, I'll just get bored. Like with Kingdom Hearts, every time a minigame happened that I was forced to do, I was so bored. Or I'd get frustrated. I'd be like, this is so stupid. Please move me forward. I don't care about Olaf. Do we have to put Olaf together? No. Any game though with like an optional minigame, one where it's paced appropriately and it's like a pretty quick exercise to break up the game, I'm 100% in on it. Love that. Love doing that kind of stuff. Even in like Assassin's Creed games, there were always mini games. Never had to do them, and I just maybe did it once or twice and moved on. Dead Space has mini games. Dead Space, Played them once. They were great. Little shooting game, little basketball thing, which was cool.
Yeah.
Did it once, moved on, got a little reward, moved on. That was it. They didn't tell me, oh my god, there are necromorphs. Let's play basketball. What do you mean? We have to play basketball to get through the room. Why? It's just like that's how I feel. It's like, well, it's weird. Rounded out, I don't like forced minigames. I really don't. I think it's like, it's not lazy or anything. It's just like, you're just wasting my time. It's a time waster. And it's just like, well, if I want to waste my time, I'll do it if I want. Like, I'll do like the time waster. I mean, like, it can be fun. Like, a time waster can be fun. But I want to do that on my own time. I want to just like keep going through the story if I want to. Like, I don't want to break up my own pacing. Having the pacing forcefully broken up on me is a little frustrating, is what I'm getting at. I can break it up on my own. Like, I'll do a chocobo race if I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I want to do a chocobo race. But like, if I'm on a roll, like, do you ever get in a story roll where you're like, oh my god, it's been a couple hours, I'm on a roll. You know, I'm like in the zone. I'm on something, and somebody walks in on you and is like, hey, let's go chocobo racing now. It's like, no, I want to finish this out. This is super interesting. I want to keep going. No, we're going to chocobo race. Like, I'll do the chocobo race when I'm done.
And again, to be fair to the devs of this game, they didn't need to put this many games in it, but they are constrained by the design of the original game. In terms of like the world, like these two like cities come kind of back to back, where you got Costa del Sol, and then like you go through a little bit of the world, and then you get the gold saucer.
Sure.
So, but I think they could have toned it down in both areas, but especially like the gold saucer with like the number of mini games that were there.
Yeah, just make them optional. Just make them all optional. Nomura, you can have your mini games and have them be optional. Nomura, you can do that, and I'd be down to play a couple of them and be like, yeah, chocobo racing sounds pretty cool. Card game sounds great. Beach volleyball, get me in there, you know, kind of things.
They didn't actually have
that. That pisses me off. That kind of makes me mad. Like, Nomura, you added like all these mini games and you couldn't think to add beach volleyball? Like, come on. That's like the ultimate mini game you have to put on the beach one. How could you miss that one? That frustrates me. That's a huge miss.
Instead, we got Scuffed Rocket.
Instead, you just you get the thing that doesn't make any sense. That like barely makes any sense. Compared to the one thing when you think of beach, like, what do you want to do on the beach? Volleyball. There's like top 5 things. Volleyball's in there. Like, it's wild to me that wasn't a mini game, even if it's like a scuffed version of it. Like, give me 2v2 beach volleyball with Cloud and Tifa or whatever. Cloud and Barrett. Get Barrett in there in a bikini. Let's get him in there. I don't know. Nomura needs to chill with minigames. He needs to chill.
He was cooking. He's cooking.
He was like, I'm gonna show you minigames. I'll show you minigames. He just went wild.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've got to say about Rebirth. I mean, you know, again, we kind of did a lot of complaining in this segment, so I'll just reiterate. I do really like the game. In order for it to be the like 9, 10 out of 10, the story is gonna have to do something, and the story hasn't done anything yet.
It'll probably do it near the end. It'll probably be like near the end.
It'll be the end. It'll be at the end.
It'll be the end.
Sure, and I'm expecting that. And yeah, generally, I think the pacing is pretty good between the open world and the story and the minigames. This section was a little bit heavy on minigames for my taste.
Yep.
And the combat's fun. I just wish healing was better, especially the healing items were better.
That could be frustrating.
Yeah, so, as I said, the combat is really fun most of the time, but when it's not fun, it is really not fun. It is like the most it's like the most frustrating, unfun thing I've ever played when it's not fun. Like,
that's how I felt. That's why I stopped playing. Well, I've been thinking about restarting it at some point, but like, that's the reason why I stopped. I was just like, okay, well,
with remake, yeah.
when you're hit with things that make it not fun, it's really not fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, probably could have made this less frustrating here. Probably could have made it a little less frustrating here. But yeah. Anyway.
So yeah.
The rest of it was good.
Rebirth. I mean, it's really good. I'm still not ready to anoint it, you know, like that 9-10 out of 10 game of the year material that everybody's like jizzing their pants about basically, but I haven't finished the game yet, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the game's good. I think the open world's good. The mini games are fun most of the time, but they went overboard. They went overboard a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. FF7 Rebirth minigames galore. FF7 minigame. The minigame. FF7 the minigame. All right.
FF7 Nomura overcooked the meat.
The box should have just said, "I'll show you minigames."
I'll show you minigames.
I'll show you. Anyway, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't, yeah. Kingdom Hearts. I think Kingdom Hearts just left a sour taste in my mouth with minigames. I do like minigames. It's just that game in particular really ruined it. I think it just ruined it. That series ruined it.
It was just the Frozen world, like.
It was a Frozen world. It was Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep.
The Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Birth by Sleep hurt. That hurt.
BBS, yeah.
That hurt, and I think that one was optional too. I don't think I had to do it because maybe I did. I don't remember, but it frustrated me.
You have to play Kingdom Hearts as part of the
Oh
story.
God, yeah, that's one of it.
It's in Terra's story also.
Yeah, it
is.
is.
Also the worst
yes.
story. So.
Yes, that one. Terra was funny though. I did like Terra. He was funny. He was just funny.
Yeah, and it also had like one of the most iconic moments of your old stream with Ericus.
Ericus was great. I still have that. I saved that. I saved that clip. I saved it.
The best. That's like one of my favorite clips of like all time. It's so funny.
It's because it's like it's just like screaming and like, oh my God, like why are you screaming like this? Yeah, I think it just left a bad taste in my mouth because I do like mini games and other games, and I think it's all because those mini games are optional. Is why I like them, because I can just do them at my own pacing. Is what ends up happening. But yeah, I think it's just when it breaks up the pacing for me, and I'm on a roll, and you've broken it up with a mini game. I just am like especially in Kingdom Hearts 3, at the point where you do the Olaf minigame, like a lot of stuff was happening. So like stuff was happening. I did this Olaf minigame. I got annoyed by it. More stuff happened. I did like a sliding down part. It was like I had just finished the sliding down section, right?
That's the big yeah, the sliding
I slide down
leads right into the Olaf.
That's what made me mad.
Right, it's like two right in a row. Basically,
I was like,
that sliding minigame, especially the beginning part of it where you're being chased by the dragons. That one's ass. Like
I didn't like it. So like I had all this momentum. I start into this sliding one. I'm like, okay, this is not the best. I get right into Olaf, and I'm like, I just want to. Can I just go into normal Kingdom Hearts now?
Yeah. Can we just play?
Kingdom Hearts now? Can I just play the game as like the regular combat? Because I like that. Can I have that back? So I think that's what happened. I think it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. But anyway, well, I mean, it seems like the game's still, it's still like enjoyable. So that's important.
It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, my part was just about Helldivers and Halo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to save Super Earth. So that's where I'm at.
Save Super Earth.
Super Earth needs us. You should watch just like the intro part of Helldivers, just like on YouTube. Just watch the intro. It's freaking hilarious. It's exactly Starship Troopers, and it's great. Anyway, anything else before we close the? Okay.
I don't think so.
Sounds good. All right, y'all. We're gonna head out. Good to see you, Ghost, by the way. And we'll be back next week. Just as a quick reminder, the weekend of the 23rd, that 23rd day, no podcast.
Yep.
Spoon. That way. Spoon is going to be gone. So we'll be taking that week off, and we'll be back the 30th. So next week we'll be here. Week after is week off, and then we'll be back the 30th again. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.